I'm coming, y'all. Bear with me a second. Hey, y'all know in the morning I have to go through the normal. I have to um, put the poll up, change to subscriber only for the chat, um, and share it to the different platforms. Because sometimes the bell don't alert people. So I have a broadcast channel on my Instagram and a broadcast channel on my Facebook. So I always share it in those places first, and then of course I start the live stream. Today's I almost didn't do a live stream today because have I didn't have a set subject to actually talk about. There was a lot of different subjects that were running through my head. So I'll give y'all some of the subjects. Y'all can let me know. Some of the subjects were relationships. One of the subjects about relationships is something that I call. Let me see if I can Google this term. Reality therapy. So one of the things that I was going to talk about, that I was thinking about, I was going to do relationships, biblical subjects, and then I saw the Ray J. Cenat. So I am going to do the Ray J. Cenat, and I'm going to do the biblical subjects. That's why you see your favorite Christian lies, Jesus is God, virgin birth, Gentiles, debunked. So this is an opportunity for two things. One, for those Israelites that know the truth, that want to get armed up, by all means, you can call in and ask your questions about the subject. For the Christians that do believe that Jesus is God, that do believe that God made Mary pregnant, that do believe Gentiles can be saved, you can call in. Is Ray J and Cenat making gay okay? I saw the Ray J Cenat video, which I'm going to play. And when you watch the video, what I did was went straight to the comments. And everybody thought it was funny. Everybody thought it was funny, thought it was comical, thought it was cute. What tripped me out is clearly this wasn't a surprise. There's no surprise. You got the DJ there. Cenat has security. He's in the shower. There's no way they don't know Ray J is coming. That means they purposely planned for Cenat to be in the shower and to Ray J to come in and want to get in the shower with a man. That's the world we live in. And then relationships. One of the things, so when I talk about relationships, it's not from the position that y'all may think. It's not just from a position of what the husband should do, what the wife should do, what the man should do, what the woman should do as far as relationship goes. But there's a mental defect that a lot of us have. And one of them things is creating a reality. So maybe I'll touch on that. I'm going to read to y'all the definition of reality therapy. So this is reality therapy. It says reality therapy is a form of psychotherapy developed by psychiatrist William Glasser in the 1960s. It focuses on helping individuals take responsibility for their choices and make changes to improve their lives. And that's something that a lot of us don't want to do. We don't want to be responsible for the choices or decisions that we make. If you think about, if you go back and analyze and you could point out any part where the choice that you made is the cause of why you are where you are, or the cause of why the other person responded to what you did, then maybe that choice wasn't the right choice, not the response of the individual. People, like, you ever see where somebody might say, man, get your ass out of here. And then somebody might hit you for that. And then you'll say, you didn't have to hit me because I said, get your ass out of here. Now, I'm using an extreme so you can understand. People think that because I disrespect you in a light way, you're supposed to, in turn, disrespect me back in a light way. Like you want to dictate somebody else's disrespect, or you want to dictate somebody's love. I say I love you, and if they say, oh, okay, or if I love you and they say I love you, and you express your way stronger and they express their way lighter, you're offended at their light expression. But if they're being genuine, then they're being genuine. What's up, Big Priest? So that's another thing. Just the key principles of it. It says, choice theory. All human behavior is based on choices. Basic needs. Humans have 5 basic needs: love and belonging, power and freedom, fun and survival. Present focus. Therapy focuses on current behaviors and choices rather than past experiences. Personal responsibility. This is heavy. Individuals are responsible for their own actions and outcomes. Goal setting. Therapy helps individuals set realistic and achievable goals. Anybody that is close to me, what I mean by close, I'm not talking about male or female. Anybody that is close to me knows that I've recommended this concept since it was recommended to me. So in order for me to get into the counsel department, there's certain things that we had to study, certain things that we had to go over. One of them was this subject of reality therapy. And reality therapy is something as simple as text messaging. And I use text messaging because that's like one of the cleanest examples I can give, and one of the examples that's in the book. You send a text message to somebody. If they don't respond in a certain amount of time to your text message, how many thoughts run through your head with their lack of response to your text message? And how many times do you come up in your head with your own idea of why they're not responding to your text message? The text message could be anything. The text message could be good morning, good afternoon. What did you get for lunch? Are you going to the store? Are you going to the gym? Do you miss me? I'm sorry. It could be anything. And if they don't respond in a certain amount of time, you develop a whole conversation with that person, but it's your perception of that person not responding to your message. It's not the person. That person could be asleep. That person could be in the shower, taking a shit, could be at the gym, could be playing, could be away from the phone, could be at work. Phone could be on silent. Phone could be off. No, there's a plethora of reasons, but you come up with the reason why they're not responding, and you have a whole conversation with that person in your head. And then what happens is there's a few things that happen. Most of the time, and here's the crazy part. Most of the times that you have the conversation with why they're not responding, if y'all was to keep it real, give me a 5 in the chat if when you have that conversation with yourself about the person not responding. Give me a 5 if it's a negative conversation. Give me a 10 if it's a positive conversation. Let me see who's going to keep it real. Give me a 5 if you're having a negative conversation why they're not responding. Give me a 10 if it's a positive. Let me see who's going to keep it real. Okay, we got some 5s in there. I'm going to see who's going to keep it real. Yeah, we got some 5. Listen, man, listen, this is why I love the Shotgunners chat. Shout out to Captain Tazaryach TV and the Shotgunners, because y'all keep it real. I used to be a 5 too. I used to be an absolute 5. I agree with y'all. It wasn't until I actually checked myself, when I read this book, when I studied this concept, I realized I was the 5. I was the one that would have this negative conversation, male or female. No matter who I sent the message to. They not responding because of this. They not responding because of that. Why they ain't responding? They know it's me. It's me texting them. I know they seen it. It's been an hour. It's been 2 hours. You developed this whole back and forth conversation. You battling. And here's what's happened. Here's what happens when you finally get them on the phone. When you finally get them on the phone, you having two conversations. You having or let's say if you don't get them on the phone, let's say they finally respond. There's a meme, there's a video I saw. It was like, it was a meme where this brother is asleep and he's showing his phone with the text messages. And the woman sent him a text message. He don't respond. She like, oh, you ain't responding. She sent like 30 messages. You finally get to the phone to see the messages. Rock Ramadi said, why are you talking about me? You finally respond and you seeing the message. And y'all know, for all those that put a 5 in the chat, y'all all know by the time they see your message, they don't just see that one message. They see a plethora of messages. Oh, you not answering? What you doing? You with some bitch. You with some nigga. You fucking somebody. You doing this. You doing that. All of those things are in the text message too, to where when the person gets to the message, when they respond to you, here's the two conversations you having at one time. The two conversations you having at one time is the conversation of the response that the person is actually giving to you, and the conversation that you had with that person in your own mind. Those are two conversations that you're having. So when that person say to you, oh, my phone was on silent, your phone wasn't on no damn silent. Your phone ain't never on silent. When I'm around you, the phone ain't on silent. When I'm the phone ain't on silent. I was in the gym. I remember I used to leave, so y'all know I got two phones. I used to leave a phone in the car. I never brought two phones in the gym with me. So if I'm in the gym, I could leave the phone in the car. You ain't leave your phone in the car. You in the shower. You ain't in the shower. You talking to your mama. You could be doing anything. It's never that. That's what reality therapy cures. That's why I'm no longer a 5. That's why I'm a 10. When I send somebody a message, now anybody that knows me can attest to this. When I send somebody a message, when I'm having a conversation with somebody, and they say what they say out of their mouth, if I don't understand the text message, if I don't understand what they're saying out their mouth, I say to them, hey, can you explain what you're saying? I don't know what that means. You know what that does when you say, can you explain what you're saying? You know what that means? That helps you get rid of the demon in you that wants to misunderstand, to go back and forth. When you text somebody and they don't respond, the first thing, if they don't respond in 10 minutes, and we live in a microwave era, if they don't respond in 2 minutes, it's a wrap. You about to have hell by the time you respond to that message. But instead of acting like that, you got to get rid of the priority that you have in their head that supersedes that they just might be away from the phone. Especially if y'all got a relationship and they respond, you shouldn't create a narrative. You got to also wonder, are you the arguing type? You just might be a drama motherfucker. You just might be a drama person. You might be a person that's full of drama. You might be a person, they have a term called trauma bonding. I don't know if you ever heard of that term. I thought I was going to give y'all a brief synopsis. I didn't know I was going to go into it. So when y'all look up trauma bonding, right? Let me see. Trauma bonding. Let me see. Trauma bonding is an unhealthy emotional attachment that develops between an abuser and their victim. It is a complex phenomenon that can occur in abusive relationships, alternates between periods of abuse, physical, emotional, sexual, and periods of kindness, affection, or manipulation. Y'all, and listen, I'm going to tell y'all who's the most trauma bonding. Women. Women ain't going to like to hear that. women are the most trauma bonding because women use the emotional. Every man is not physically abusive, but most women are emotionally abusive. I know y'all ladies don't want to hear that. But when we talk about trauma bonding develops very easily. Trauma bonding develops when there's a song called, there's an old school song called Break Up to Make Up, That's All We Do. That's trauma bonding, where you don't feel alive. If y'all followed me, I think it was on the live stream I did with Sanchez, and then I think 2 days ago, I brought up PTSD and how PTSD is in us. PTSD is in us from children growing up. Why y'all can't hear me? Wait, hold on, let me see. Hold on, they said they can't hear me. Hold on. Let me see. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. I can hear myself. Testing 1 2. I can hear myself. Testing 1 2. Can y'all hear me? I can hear myself. How y'all can't hear me? Testing 1 2. Can y'all hear me? I can hear myself. How y'all can't hear me? Let me see if I rewind. Can y'all hear me? I can hear myself. How y'all can't hear me? Shout out to Rod Cremati with the super chat donation. You sound good. I hear you. I hear you. Yes. Hello, Miss Mika. I can hear you perfect. One West, you Tawab. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. So trauma bonding is from that PTSD that we suffer. So because we grow up with such a traumatic life, we don't know what peace looks like. That's why I said women. Like, we don't know. Like, most men seek peace. Now, I'm only going to be talking about relationships now. Most men don't want to argue in their house. They look for peace first. Most women, because, and this is what I mean. Both boys and girls grow up in traumatic lifestyles, right? When we get older, men are looking for the cure for that lifestyle. Women have to be cured of that lifestyle. That's why women are more mental than men. And because men are more logical, women are more emotional. So women have to be cured. Men are the cure. So as men going to look for the peace, when they get with the woman, what happens when they get with that woman, they trying to lead. They say, okay, let's do things this way. Let's do things that way. Let's do things this way. The woman is coming from not having to really submit because she's coming from her traumatic experiences from the past, not having to submit. She has to now learn how to listen to be cured. And so in the beginning, you're going to have that clash. And so it takes for a woman recognizing that she has to be cured. It takes for a man to understand he's the cure to get rid of that trauma bonding. If those two things don't coexist, all you're going to have is drama in your relationship. That's it. That's it. That's all you're going to have. If a man doesn't recognize that he has to cure this woman, and here's how you recognize the trauma. You recognize the trauma when you have to complain to get love. If you have to complain to get love, you're a trauma bonder. If you have to nag to get love, you're a trauma bonder. If the man accepts your nagging, he's a trauma bonder. If a man accepts your complaining, he's a trauma bonder. And all that's going to happen, it's going to start off cute. It's going to start off, oh, that's so cute. You must love me because you getting on my nerves to see me. You must love me. What happens, it goes from being cute to, bitch, stop fucking texting me. Bitch, you getting on my goddamn nerves. Like, nigga, how many fucking times? It goes to that. And then you think you having great sex afterwards because you beating the vagina up, giving the greatest head, you doing all these things, you doing all of that, when really you can have that same love attraction by just creating peace. We just don't know what peace looks like. Yeah, like there was another statement that said people have a chaos attraction, where you be in chaos so much that when someone comes and takes the chaos away, you can only respect chaos so much that you create chaos. You create it. You create the chaos. And when you get that chaotic response, the sensors in your mental go off, and now you feel like the nigga love me. Look how he talking to me. Look how he acting. That's the unfamiliar spirit that you're attraction to. But when a nigga is not doing that, when a nigga don't respond to that, when he don't respond to that, the nagging, when he don't respond, when he tries to tell you, hey, we shouldn't be like that. Let's have peace. Just because I don't see you don't mean I don't love you. We don't communicate this day don't mean this. If I ain't saying the words, I love you every single day. Like, you don't need that. And when I say you don't need that, not that the man don't need to say it to you, but you don't need to say it. You don't need it said to you. You think your mental thinks you need to be said to you. You know why? Because you weren't loved growing up. Because you didn't hear love like that from your mother. You didn't hear love like that from your father. So when you go get in a relationship, you need that woman to say, I love you all the time. You need this all day. The woman thinks she needs this from the man all day. Words don't mean shit, y'all. Words don't. Your actions mean everything. And so if you want to avoid trauma bonding, you have to first accept the accountability of everything that I just said on both sides. The things that the man has to create and accept responsibility for himself, the things that the woman have to create and accept responsibility for herself. If you go into anything thinking that it's her, you're the problem. If you go into anything thinking it's him, you're the problem. Especially, and then analyze it now. Even if you don't take what I'm saying about that, just analyze. If you've been in more than one relationship, you got to at least consider you're the problem. If you've been in more than one, you got to at least consider. And I guarantee you, there's 240 people in the chat. I guarantee you, y'all have been in more than 4 relationships. Guarantee. Guarantee. Now, I said if you've been in more than one, you have to consider. I guarantee you, you've been in more than 4 relationships just in this chat. And if you've been in more than 4 relationships, you are definitely the problem. You got to consider that. And so how do you correct yourself? Reality therapy, cognitive behavior therapy. And these are all things like, we say this about sisters. We say this about sisters all the time. That a lot of sisters are bipolar, right? There's not a lot of men that's bipolar, but a lot of sisters are bipolar. Cognitive behavior therapy is a type of talk therapy that helps people change unhelpful thinking and behavior patterns to improve their well-being. It is goal-oriented, time-limited therapy that teaches practical self-help strategies to identify, challenge, and change negative thoughts, belief, and behaviors that contribute to problems like depression, anxiety, insomnia. Because when you start doing these, I know for me, when I studied reality therapy, when I studied cognitive behavior therapy, it changed my thought process. It helped the way that I listen. It made me more patient, made me less aggressive, made me more attentive. I focused on more solutions instead of just sitting into the problem. I'm telling you. And sometimes if medication is good, especially you women, y'all bipolar asses need to be on some type of medication. I'm just trying to help y'all. So I wanted to give y'all, that's my wisdom of the day. Let me give y'all one of my favorite scriptures on counseling. My usual go-to, because it's so important. It's Ecclesiasticus, I think it's the 30th chapter. It says, give not thy mind over to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. You cannot counsel yourself. Think about that. And if you consistently starting the same argument over and over and over, you're the problem. You're absolutely the problem. So that is the wisdom section of today's short. So like I said, it's called cognitive behavioral therapy. The book that I got for it, so I'll show you the book that I got for it. For dummies. This is the one I got. The book that I got was this one. I'm waiting for it to open up. I just got to sign in to read it, but this is the book that I got. Cognitive Behavior Therapy for Dummies, or CBT for short. Shout out to Garrett. That's what I got. It helps you. It's good. Like, it's going to free your mind. Because a lot of times, even like worrying and all this other old shit, you got to lose yourself. You really got to, if you getting into a relationship with a man, you getting into a relationship with a woman, and you still got the baggage from your previous relationships, you got to lose yourself. You can't bring that shit into the relationship. You can't. Once you bring the old relationship, this is why I like, from a mental position, like men that have more than one woman, if you bring, like, here's what I've been good at since I was a kid. Well, not since I was a kid, since I was an adult. And I observed this with women. I ain't gonna say which ribs, but I've observed mothers be on an argument, get into an argument with anybody. The argument could be with their spouse, argument could be with their job, argument could be with their friend. And when they finish arguing with them, they take it out on the kid, they take it out on the husband. Because women don't know how to isolate where the problem should be focused at. They don't know how to do that. Women are terrible at that. Women, if women are in a bad mood with one person, they're in a bad mood with everybody. That's why y'all need a man to cure you. A man has to come and help you focus and laser in all cases. Unless a woman has been cured by a man, all women take out whatever they got at one person on somebody else. It does not change. It does not fade away. Now, what I've been good at is I could be full out blazing on somebody. Y'all have seen it on here. Y'all could see me have a full out argument with somebody, and when I'm done, when they get off the phone, you don't see me rant and be still so high strung. Let's say if I got high strung arguing back and forth with them. When they get off the phone, you don't see me then talk to y'all yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering. You don't see me do that. You don't see me do that on comments. You don't see me do that with none of that. That's not by accident. That's a learned thing. Another thing, Mika pointed out another good one. You don't see me go online. I don't make no personal posts online. I don't know. Well, I appreciate the compliment, Mika. Hey, y'all, Mika gave a good compliment today, man. I don't know how long that one's going to last. Mika gave Captain Tazaryach a good compliment today, y'all. Let's see how long that lasts. Mika must be trying to make sure she don't lose that mob badge again. Shout out to you, Mika. She done gave me a good compliment. But I don't post my personal business online. That's another. This I'm gonna have to retitle this. The Captain teaches y'all how to have reality therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, and if I could, shout out to Beso, say you compartmentalize. That's a good. Let's look up that word compartmentalize, because I meant to say that last night, but I wanted to make sure I knew what the hell it meant. Where the hell my damn phone to go? God damn it. Let me make sure I know what that word means. Let me look that up. And don't be afraid of that either. Don't be afraid if you got to look up a word. Don't be afraid to look that shit up, man. I'll look up a word in a heartbeat. It's better to look up the word and know what it means for sure than to say what you think it means and be wrong. Compartmentalize is to divide or separate something into distinct sections of categories, such as mentally separating different aspects of your life, work, and personal life, thoughts, and emotions to prevent them from interfering with each other. That's what y'all have to remember. Compartmentalizing is an excellent thing to do. When you're thinking about social media is the worst place to put your life experiences. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. It's the worst place. It's a place where, and I'm not saying you can't put the good, the bad. You can do whatever you want, but just my advice to you, it's not the best place to put your life experiences. Nobody wants to see a successful relationship online. Nobody. They only want to, when they see that successful relationship, they be putting a countdown in their head. How long before this bitch put up something against her husband? How long before she be hating on her? You put up a photo when you and your man, y'all hugged up and shit, all at the Bahamas or some island or some boat, some yacht, Mount Everest. Who the fuck knows where you at? They be waiting for the downfall. They not waiting for your, it's not for happiness. It's for the drama. It's the frenzy. When you go in there, just imagine when we put out speakings, when we put out classes, the classes don't get as much views as the drama. So social media is a gift and a curse. It's a gift because you're able to promote, like we promote the truth, promote my business, promote the things that we do. And so that's a good thing. But then it's also a bad thing because that world has no rules. You don't even know who you're talking to online. You think you're talking to Johnny Damon and it's really Angela. You think you're talking to a 50-year-old man, it's a 12-year-old girl. You think you're talking to an 18-year-old woman, it's a catfish. It's a 70-year-old man. You don't know what it is. The internet, like Mika said, is ruthless. And so if you get caught up in believing what people say, I remember when I was a young man, I would be on that online internet. I'm going back and forth in the comments. I'm about to cut this person. I play this video occasionally. I think it's on my TikTok. I'm mad. I think I just deleted. Did I just delete that shit, man? I keep folders on my phone, and I think I just deleted a folder on my damn phone. Just pissed me off. If I could find this video, there's this TikTok video that I had on my phone. And on the video, it was a white man that would satisfy his troll. I'm gonna see if I can find it. If I can find this video, I'm gonna show y'all what they do online. And they do this online, and this is who you arguing with most of the time. I just gotta see. Did I put it on my Insta? I thought I put it on my TikTok. Or did I get it off of TikTok? Maybe I got it off of TikTok. Hold on, I'm just scrolling to see if I find it, y'all. Just bear with me a second. Damn, how old is... Yeah. I thought it'd be easier to find on TikTok. Maybe I'll look for it on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it on Instagram. But one thing I do appreciate y'all letting me get all of that out. I'm gonna see if I can find this video. So now I'm gonna talk about well, I'm gonna do Jesus is not God, because that's kind of quick. And then I'm gonna get into the Cenat. Again, the phone lines is open. If you got a question or comment, if y'all need me to talk more about the mental stuff, let me know. I may start adding that once a week, like maybe go more in depth, maybe show some things. I did a lecture. Maybe I'll put those lectures back up. Did a lecture called The Cure for the Hatred Between the Black Man and Black Woman, where I went into some of that as well. So what I'm going to do for each subject, I'm going to give y'all 3 scriptures that will surely show you Jesus is not God, Joseph is the father of Christ, and Gentiles are only Israelites, right? So let's do the Jesus is God first. And I didn't study for this, meaning I didn't plan this. Y'all, I'm so mad. Let me see. I am so mad that did I back up this I hope I backed up this, because I don't want to ain't that a bitch, man. I am so angry right now. Yeah, I have no. Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. Look like I just shifted it. Okay. I found it, y'all. I feel better now. All right. Let me see here. Oh, let me move you over. There we go. 11. So I'm gonna give y'all the time. I'm only going to 11 o'clock. So if y'all think y'all gonna wait before you call in, I'm only going to 11. Now, if phone calls come in, I'll go over 11. But for the most part, I'm stopping at 11. All right. So for Jesus is God, this is Ephesians 1. Was it 1 and 17? I think. Yes. This is Ephesians 1 and 17. It says that the God of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him. Bezos is funny. Now, you notice this verse says, the God of our Lord, which lets you know just because you see Lord and Christ called Lord, it's not making him the Most High. Now, let me see something just for conversation's sake, right? So for conversation's sake, I'm going to go to Ephesians. I want to show y'all something, just in case y'all get hit with that nonsense of Luke 6 and 46. That word Lord is also Kyrios. So now, if Ephesians 1 says the God of our Lord, Jesus Christ, the Father of glory, that lets you know that Christ has a God, so Christ can't be God. The Father of glory is also talking about God. That's one scripture. I think the other one I want, and I'm thinking of this as I go. Is it 5? Hold on. I'm trying to find. Oh, I think it's 2. Hold up. I think it's 2. This is 1 Timothy 2 and 5. All of this I'm just doing off the top of my head, right? It's 1 Timothy 2 and 5. It says, for there is one God, one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. These are these 2 scriptures are clean cut. Ephesians 1 and 17 says directly the God of Christ. 1 Timothy 2 and 5, there is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. Can't get around that. The last scripture, Revelations 3 and 21. It says, to him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me on my throne, even as also I am overcome and sat down with my Father in his throne. Now we just established 2 thrones. Oh, shout out to Nashak with the super chat donation. Say, you see that monster Brittany Renner and her mother arguing with her child's father? Yes, I did. I'll see it. If I don't get that video in today, I'll get it in tomorrow or on Cross the Line. That'd be a good subject to dissect. You know, just a sidebar, in that video, when she said this happens every week, what that means is that man is coming to see that child every week, and Brittany Renner is on bullshit every week. Y'all better think about who y'all put a baby up in. I know I do. I think about nutting up in some woman. I thought about that my whole life. For my whole entire life, I thank the Lord that I only had children when I wanted to. Let that sizzle in your spirit. I've never had an abortion. Let that sizzle in your spirit. And of course, when I'm saying I've never had, meaning I've never had, like, participated in that. In actuality, I probably would have had more kids. But one of my ribs, when she used to get pregnant, if she was almost like allergic to the pregnancy, so she lost a few. So outside of that, nothing. Cap, can you read John 13, 1 through 3 to prove the Trinity wrong? Let's read John 13, 1 through 3. Shout out for the super chat donation. I sure can, brother. John 13, 1 through 3. It says, now before the feast of the Passover, when Yahushua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Yahushua, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God and went to God, and he arised from supper and laid his... Yes, you can. Yes. That's another example too. Yep. Mr. Don said, hey, Captain, I started my own. Mr. Don, you are not authorized to do that, and it's going to fail. It's going to fail. All right. So now let's get into the Ray J. Let me play y'all this Ray J joint. You want to talk about some crazy work? G. Monetti. What is this here? Oh, yeah, somebody sent me the Brittany Renner one. I'm going to get into the Brittany Renner one, but let me play this Ray J one. I might mute the sound because when they play, because they're going to play the song, I may have to mute the sound. Oh, Ray J. Kai. Cenat. Let me see. Hold on. Before I play it, I just got to fix the thing. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Bear with me 1 second. All right. I want y'all to look at this. I want y'all to look at this. And when I play this video, Kai Cenat... Wait, let me see if I get a better one. When y'all look at this, I want y'all to look at this video. Kai Cenat, first of all, is a grown man in the shower, getting filmed in the shower. Now, he has shorts on. I just don't understand that. And why did they have to put in a skit for Ray J to come in there? I want y'all to watch this. You got a DJ in the bathroom. Look. Now he fighting to get in the shower. Look at this gay shit, man. This is gay. No straight man does shit like this, man. And look at him and look at him now. Now this how you know it's staged. Now they spraying with shit, right? Now watch him turn into a stripper. He gonna turn into a stripper now. Watch. I think he about to get on the floor or some shit, man. Look at this nigga. Nigga turned into a whole bitch. And the internet think that's funny. That's some nasty shit. Somebody gave a super chat. Keep the strats and unicorns out of the chat. Shout out to Clint. Shout out to Clint. He said, keep the straps and the unicorns out of the chat. Y'all could think Ray J is a straight man. Ray J is not a straight man. Ray J, like your pa said, is in the gay agency. I believe Ray J. Didn't Ray J say he was in the gay agency or something like that? Let me see. Okay. Let's see. I think he said something like that. I'm just looking it up. I think this is it. Oh, wait. Here, look at this. Wait.
Oh, Kyle want to take a shower with you. And
I forgot this video. Watch. You're going to hear Ray J say he wanted to take a shower. Watch.
I'm mad because I told Kyle I want to take a shower with you and stream with you at ISO speed in the shower.
What?
Yeah, bro. I'm like, bro. I'm like, I want to take a shower with y'all niggas too. They like, yo.
Hold on. What's your sexuality?
Listen.
Just ask me about.
Listen, let me tell you something. This how you know it was staged. I forgot about, shout out to your pa. Your pa, you a fucking genius. I forgot that Ray J made this video with Cam Newton. This is how you know they set it up. So when they see Ray J on Cam say he want to take a shower with the nigga, they say, let's make it happen. They say, let's make it happen. Listen, you see, and as I said this before the last time I played this video, for Cam Newton, who does some of the most suspect shit I've ever seen, when his face is like, what? You want to take a shower? That's how you know it's gay. And this goes back to, shout out to Roland when he said showbiz. When we talk about agendas, that conversation I had with Sanchez, they can't just, the media just ain't got no, the Jewish man in Hollywood ain't got no agenda with hip hop. They got an agenda across the board. Shout out to my nigga James Fattrell with the super chat donation, brother. Appreciate it greatly. They got it across the board. Watch this again. Watch Cam's face. Let me change the view. Hold on, I'm gonna change the view.
I'm mad because I told Kyle I want to take a.
Hold on, let me change the view. Y'all know I like to change the views, give y'all different ways. Wait, hold up. What the hell just happened? What did I just do? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. I thought I messed up just now. I thought I turned the camera off by mistake. You know I like to give y'all different views of the live stream. And I thought I messed up the live stream just for a second. I thought I did. So now, watch this. Watch Cam. Watch what Ray J says.
I told Kyle I want to take a shower with you and stream with you at ISO speed in the shower. What? Yeah, bro. I'm like, bro. I'm like, I want to take a shower with y'all niggas too. They like, yo.
Hold on. What's your sexuality?
Just ask me about Amber.
I'm asking
I have shout out to the gay agency. I shouted out to the gay agency. Actually, the gay.
He said, shout out to the gay agency. That's all you need to know about Ray J. I'm going to bring it back a little bit.
Just ask me about Amber.
I'm asking
I have shout out to the gay agency. I shouted out to the gay agency. Actually, the gay agency's here. Dumpin' D, The Rod. They're the CEO.
Do you play both ways?
Come on, bro. I ain't never played both ways.
He said, shout out to the gay agency and said, Dumpin' Rod. Pause. Let me pause it. It says, shout out to D Curse with the super chat. It says, what should we do if we have a rib and a child's father keeps trying to make himself relevant? Now you see that she's happy and really moved on. Do you say something or not?
Have shout out.
This is a good question. This is a good question. This is a solid question right here. I'm gonna repeat the question, and I want to see. Okay, the question is, what should we do if we have a rib and her child's father keeps trying to make himself relevant? Now he sees that she's happy and really moved on. Do you say something or not? This is a good question. Now, because he gave the super chat, I'll come back to the Ray J video, right? He gave a super chat. I want to try to start answering the super chat questions when they come in so that they don't get ignored and that more people will give to the super chat. Bezos says, shout out for the subject change. Yeah, I know Bezos a Benjamite, so, you know, she got a particular disdain for Bate Boy. Shit. So now, I'm going to repeat the question again, and I want people in the chat to tell me what do they think. And I'm going to look at the chat responses. I'm going to repeat the question in the chat. I'm going to repeat the question again, and I want y'all to respond in the comment section, and I'm going to want to see what y'all say. All right? I'm going to repeat the question again. This is the question. The question is, what should we do if we have a rib and a child's father keeps trying to make himself relevant? Now he see that she's happy and really moved on. Do you say something or not? Says I asked this similar question a few days ago. I want to look in the chat. I want y'all to tell me. Let that man see his child. The child's father is relevant, right? Right? I'm looking, I'm waiting. The woman should check the situation. Relevant to who? Interesting. If the father is only interested in the child, yes, you ask specific questions. We need more content to make this self-relevant. No, you don't need more content. That question is clean enough. Now let him talk to the child. He can't deny the child's connection with the father, but he can say what he feels to his rib. That's her job. I depend on what his intentions are. He is never going anywhere to see his father. All of y'all are right. Now, but the most important part to the relevant, what that brother would have to check, he can only be as relevant as that mother makes him relevant. When you're with a man, when you're with a woman that has a child, right, and y'all not together, and this goes both ways, because a brother could have a woman that he's no longer with, but they have a child and he's in a relationship with another woman. So this response goes to both parties, right? That father has every right to be in that child's life. And so you got to think about that before you get with a woman that has kids. Before you get with a woman that has kids, if you got, whether you want to call it insecurities, if you want to call it your woman having access and you may not trust it, you want to think about that before you get with a woman that has children with a man. Now, if those children are grown to where there's no real involvement between the parents, then that's different. But if that child is young and the father's in the life, you got to think about that before you get with her, because you can't come into the picture and then now make up in your mind, because he's seeing his son has to communicate with that mother about the son or daughter or the child. I'll just say child. That now that's a problem. It has nothing to do with your happiness. Because let's say if you were not happy with that woman, the father still has a right to the child. If you're not happy with that man, the mother still has the right to the child. The only way that man can have an impact on your relationship is if that woman is allowing that man to have an impact on your relationship. That reality therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, that comes into play now. Because you have to make sure that it's not your insecurities. So for example, if they have a schedule, let's say if they got a schedule where and I'm using common scenarios. Let's say if the schedule is he picks the child up on the weekend. She picks that child, because most kids, let's say if the child is staying with the mother, so they're going to school Monday through Friday, so he's picking the kid up on Friday, dropping him off Sunday, right? If she has to communicate for the drop off and pick up. Now, let's say if it's the middle of the week and he's calling and she's having these willing conversations about shit that ain't got nothing to do with the kid, then that's her allowing that. That's not him. You can't blame him for what she's allowing. The only way it's him is if she's not entertaining it and then he's pushing the envelope. But if all he's doing is trying to see that kid, man, let that man see that kid. Get out the way. Absolutely get out the way. And half the time, it don't even require, and if we keep it at 100, outside of emergencies, outside of sickness, you don't even have to talk. And if your woman is doing a lot of talking with that nigga, you might want to think about that. Because to drop off and pick up, that's why they got text message. You might have a pickup location. Let's say if you're meeting at the Rite Aid, if you're meeting at the 7-Eleven, hey, I'm going to be at the 7-Eleven at 7 o'clock. Hey, I'm going to be at the 7-Eleven at 5. You meet at the 7-Eleven, you exchange the kid, boom. Hey, I'm dropping off the kid at 8. Boom. All it takes is text message. There's no reason for y'all to communicate. The communication might be, hey, he got a test. Hey, he's not feeling well. Hey, he got a doctor's appointment. He got a dentist appointment. He got stuff like that. Texting is your best friend. That's how you set the boundary. Bezos said it perfectly. You set that boundary. We don't have to talk because they don't have a relationship. They only have a child together. So as a man, you got to get out the damn way. So you got to make sure that you're not insecure. You got to check that first. And you got to check how that woman is communicating with him. You got to check your woman, because you got to make sure your woman ain't oh, we still friends for the kid. Fuck that. You ain't fuck them friends for the kid shit. You are cordial for the kids. You ain't friends. That ain't your fucking buddy or no shit like that. Just like the woman. If that woman, let's say you got a woman, that woman done dealt with another man that ain't your woman no more, that ain't your friend either. And you ain't got a baby mama that's a friend. You got a baby mama that y'all communicate for the kid's sake. That's it. That's all you got. So if she is entertaining that, you check her. Don't try to get in the way and check him. Now, if she's doing all those things and then he's going overboard, there may come a time where you have to have a conversation with him. Like, I got a stepson. He's like 20, 28, 29 now, some shit like that, right? So when I've been in his life since he was like, what is this, 2000, 25, 26 years I've been in his life, right? And so when him and his mama, his father and his mother, they didn't get along for shit. When I say for shit, for shit. And then my dumb ass, listen, when I'm telling y'all, be careful, I'm telling y'all from my own experience. And so I remember I used to try to be a peacemaker between them, and I didn't want to. And here's why I did it. I didn't want to be a peacemaker. That boy came to me and said, can you get my mother and father to stop arguing? And that little boy, because he was a boy at the time, that boy saying that to me is why I did it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all. But I'm looking at him, and I saw the me in him because I had daddy issues growing up. So my daddy, because my daddy wasn't around, and I'm doing all of this shit, and I'm looking at I used to call him G. Well, I still call him, well, he don't like to be called G. He want to be called by his little grown-up nickname now. But when he was growing up, I called him G. And I'm looking at G, and G said that shit to me, and I said, okay, I'll do it. And so because he said that, now I got to be the mediator between these two assholes because they can't communicate just for the kids' sake. Doing shit to each other. So I just eliminated them talking to each other. Then I became the go-between. Now that's a scenario where they didn't want a relationship with each other. They just hated each other. And they hated each other so much, they didn't give a fuck that the son is the one that's fucked up behind the shit. So now I got to be the go-between and help them. And so I helped them to make sure that he can have his father in his life, mother in his life. And that shit was fucking hell. I just want to tell you, it was not an easy job. And if that little boy wouldn't have said that to me, I wouldn't have cared at all. But that's the only way that you step in. But it got to be something like that. So you got to examine that out. To the brother that gave the super chat donation, you got to examine that to make sure that it ain't you. And I'm not saying that it is, but that's where you want to go with it. And if anybody, Basil says, Simone, so how do I keep being submissive to my husband? I get upset about things not doing all that I feel you should do. I want to be righteous. 1 Peter 3:1, right? 1 Peter 3:1 says, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands, that if any obey not the word, they may be won by the word of the conversations of your mouth. So you gotta, I would always advise, I think I got a glare of the sun. I think, let me see, I'm trying to get this off. Is there a glare? Or am I tripping? Damn, I think I just put more glare in. Hold on. There you go. Now the glare back. So what I would advise first, Sabone, when you said, Salakasa, how do I keep being submissive to my husband without getting upset about things he's not doing or that I feel he should be? The Bible says a silent and loving woman is a gift from the Most High, and there's nothing more than a mind well instructed. Being submissive does not mean you keep your mouth shut. I closed the sunroof, nigga. Look, sunroof closed, sun's still hitting. Being submissive does not mean you keep your mouth shut. But being submissive does mean that you do know how to talk to your husband in a way to get what you want. So you got to think about what your approach is. You know that you got to understand the triggers. This goes back to the cognitive behavioral therapy. This goes back to the reality therapy, those things that I was talking about. If you know your husband's triggers, just like he knows your triggers, like your husband knows if your husband, when you're in a relationship, the spouse knows what pisses you off and knows what makes you feel good. So if your husband is not listening to you, you got to examine if you're saying the things that, saying it in a way where it doesn't trigger him, or if you're just saying it. Even after truth says start small, you can even start small. A lot of times women think they got to bombard that man with everything they want him to change. If anybody knows me, if anybody in a relationship with me, you'll always hear me say, we're going to knock these things out one at a time. You can have 25 different things. We're going to start with 25, then 24, then 23, then 22. By the time we get to 22, we're going to jump down to 12 because you're going to realize that it's not really 25 things. You just think it's 25 things. But as we start eliminating these things one by one, you're going to realize it gives you the medicine to stop everything else. But if you're not starting small and you're immediately jumping big, if you're starting off with a smorgasbord, you're not giving somebody the opportunity to just fix one thing. Cajun said practice makes people need to practice patience. I'm going to give you a scripture on that. This is the book of Romans. This is the book of Romans 4. I think it's Romans 4 or I think it's 5. This is Romans 5. This is Romans 5 and 2. It says, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace wherein we stand and rejoice in the hope and glory of the Most High. And not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. So you want to start off small. You want to start off with the way that you talk. And then you start off with a higher level, higher level, higher level, higher level. This Omar Muhammad says, Cap, you answering a lot of my questions I have without me asking. I appreciate you going live damn near daily. Omar Muhammad, man, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even went live today. I'm going to just keep it 100. When I left the gym, I didn't want to go live, but then y'all be in my head like, come on, Cap, we look forward to the live streams. Shout out to Claudia Cauldron with the super chat donation. I appreciate it greatly. So it's because of y'all that I go live, just so y'all know. So I appreciate it. I only got 5 more minutes, y'all. I think I can wrap it up here. I think this is a good pin. I think this was a good class. Oh, wait. Let me see. Yeah, no, I think this is a good pin. I think I could put a pin. Look at your pod with the damn everyday shit. But I think this is a good pin. I have a question. What is the second death Revelations talk? Okay, the first death, I know you didn't ask about it, but that'll help you understand the second death. The first death is the death that takes place right now. The death that the death that unalived Tyree and birthed Tazaryach. So when you born again, if we endure to the end, we won't be a part of the second death. The second death is physical and spiritual. So the first death is spiritual. The second death is what they call a lake of fire. The second death is when Christ returned and those Israelites that don't repent gonna die with the so-called white man. That's the second death. All right? We resurrect the dead every day. Every day we get a brother off of crack. I keep saying crack. You can tell I'm old. Cause is crack as popular as syrup and pills and all that shit? So you get a brother off of pills. You resurrect the dead, you get a brother off of weed, cause y'all smoking weed like it's gonna save your life. Niggas smoke weed before they take the shot. Niggas got mad at Commander General Hunter about the COVID vaccine, but smoke all the weed on the planet. Rod said, my live kept him away from making the Daytona. That's what's up. All right. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. Y'all let me get this whole live stream out, which was perfect because I got out a subject that I didn't intend on talking about at that much length. But if I'm serious, when y'all should think about getting the reality therapy book, cognitive behavioral therapy, learn to compartmentalize. Women, check that bipolar shit because y'all bipolar, and be accountable for your own actions. That's the wisdom of today. All right? So until next time, Shalom Israel.